Okay, as we go on now to topic 7.4, we're in the adding and subtracting of rational expressions in which they are not the same denominator. So up to now we've been building up to this. So again, I want to show you a strategy if I can. And the strategy will be to find out what our common denominator is. So in this case, I'm going to need an x, and I'm going to need a 4 and a 5, so I need a 20. So my common denominator there is 20x. In fact, let's get the common denominators of them all. Now when I factor this, I get 3 times x minus 2. So my common denominators here are going to be 3 times x minus 2. And remember, this is over 1. So my common denominator here will be x. Now, the next thing I want to do is get each of these denominators to be this. So, what do I have to multiply 4x by to get it to be 20x? Hopefully you said 5. And what do I have to multiply 5x to get it to be 20x? So again, 5 over 5 is 1. 4 over 4 is 1. We are allowed to multiply anything by 1 without changing its value. Now we're changing the fractions, but they are equivalent. So this now becomes 35 plus 12. And when we bring them together, this becomes a 47 over 20x. Now if we could simplify that, we would, but we can't. And that's how you would leave it. Okay, in this one, what we're doing, this is already in the proper form. So what do we have to multiply this by to make it this? And the answer is 3. So this will now become 3 times 5 is 15. And remember, we can always move the negative sign up there. And that's minus 3. So 15 minus 3 is 12 over 3 times x minus 2. No, I'm not going to forget. I can do some canceling out now. 3 goes into there once, goes into there 4 times. So my final answer is 4 over x minus 2. And remember, I can't do anything with that. This is a term, and a term. There's no common factors there. So for this one, in order to get this denominator to be an x, I have to multiply it by an x. X over x is 1. So this now becomes 4 plus 5x. And we'll do some that are a little more challenging coming up. I'm going back to number 7 because this pattern is interesting. And again, what will your lowest common denominator be? Well, here we have an x and a negative 9. Here we have a 9 and a negative x. Well, in a previous video, we said if you take out here a negative 1, that reverses the sign. So this would be x minus 9 as our common denominator. Now, what do you do with this negative? Well, remember, you could have the negative there, or you could have it up there. So that's where I'm going to put it. So now it just becomes 11 minus 3 will be 8. And there's your answer. So a little tricky thing where the signs were reversed. Take out a negative, then you can all put that negative there or up there. Up there it's a better place. It makes it a lot easier. There's your common denominator, and there's your answer. Now for this one, your common denominator is going to be this. X plus 6, x plus 6, which is what that is. And this is going to be minus 1 up there. And this one, we had to multiply it by an x plus 6. So this now becomes an x plus 6. So here, we now have a negative 1 and a plus 6. This is going to become x plus 5 over, and you can write it this way, x plus 6, the quantity squared. I thought at one time we might be able to cancel something out, but didn't work out that way. Remember, you can always rewind the tape a little and look at this again. Okay, there are a few more examples in the booklet. There's 20 questions. We did most of them. Again, if you have any questions, bring them into Math Lab, along with anything from your homework. That's what the tutors are for. So again, the strategy is, what's my common denominator here? Well, it's going to be factoring this. And we need a plus 8 and a minus 7. So this other side, in order to get this to be our common denominator, which is x plus 8, x minus 7, we're going to need to multiply this fraction by x plus 8. And remember, if the negative sign is here, make this positive, make that negative, and that helps you out a little bit there. Okay, so this side is already set at 17. This is going to be a negative 6x. And this will be 6 times 8, a negative 48. So we have like terms here, combined like terms. This is going to be a negative 31 minus 6x, a negative 48 and a positive 17, negative 31, negative 6, all over our common denominator. Now, as we look at example 18, I don't know if you see it, but these are conjugates of each other. So our common denominator will be x plus 6, x minus 6. So this one needs to be multiplied by x minus 6. This one needs to be multiplied by x plus 6. And so I don't get messed up with this negative sign, I'll make that positive and make that negative. So we now distribute 5x minus 30 minus x minus 6. So now we group like terms. I guess I can change back to black. This is going to be 4x minus 36 all over this. But let's see if I factor this at all. No, I don't think I can factor anything out of there. This is going to be 4 times x minus 9 over that, and nothing happens. So I would just leave it this way. Okay, again, bring any questions you have into Math Zone. We're eager to help, and hopefully this is helpful for you as well.